Well, well, well. Revenge is a dish best served by Carlos Santana.
You are Locked On Pirates, your daily Pittsburgh Pirates podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked On Pirates podcast. My name is Ethan Smith, your host of the Locked On Pirates podcast, here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team, your Pittsburgh Pirates, every single day. But let me go ahead and share this wonderful clip real quick to the wonderful people on Twitter so we can get everybody here. We are live on YouTube here at Locked On Pirates. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not. Silas, look, man. Silas says, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's freaking go. Wow. I was at work during this game. We'll just go ahead and say this right now. That's all we'll say. And I am at work getting the notifications on my phone, and I saw it was 7-4. I said, oh, Lord, here we go. And you guys saw the infamous tweet that said the Pirates were going to lose 10 consecutive NL Central games. Well, you guess what didn't happen? Well, guess what? The Pittsburgh Pirates didn't lose 10 consecutive NL Central games, snapping their streak of 9 straight losses in the division. And what better way to do it, man? What better way to do it than in a comeback victory against the Milwaukee Brewers, a team that swept you not even 2 weeks ago. You exit the month of June now. And this is something that I think everybody needs to realize about this Pirates team is there's been a trend about this team all year. Yes, it is one of the most streaky teams in all of baseball. We know that. Apple TV also made that really apparent. Yes, I did go back and watch the broadcast and kind of skip through things based off of the summary that I saw on the MLB app. But one thing that has been a constant about this Pirates team all year is they have finished each month on a high note. They finished April on a high note. Yes, they ended the physical month on a loss to the Nationals, which then led to craziness in the beginning of May. But they were 20-8 at the end of April. At the end of May, they win 2 of 3 against the San Francisco Giants. That leads to a sweep of the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, after a crazy month of June, yes, I know it's crazy to everybody. Tomorrow is July 1st, and it is crazy for me to think that. But the Pirates now end the month of June on a 4-game winning streak. Starting to notice the trend now. They end the months of the season so far on a hot streak. That's just what they've been doing. Tasha, by the way, is here. Santana to right, gone. Slamtana, indeed, walked it off. By the way, Carlos Santana right now is making it really hard on this Pirates team because a lot of people looked at Carlos Santana as the kind of guy that would be offloaded at the deadline. The Pirates would be out of the division, blah, 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 blah. Now, he has been one of your hottest hitters over the last week and a half. And who plays first base if he's not there? Ji-Man Choi is coming back pretty soon. But the platoon of Ji-Man Choi and Carlos Santana was very fun when they were both healthy. So what do the Pirates do? now with a guy like Carlos Santana? Is he still a trade candidate? Do you maybe slide Jared Triolo over at first base? Maybe you let Connor Joe play there full time while you have Henry Davis at right field, because that's apparently what the Pirates want to do for whatever reason. But them winning this game tonight, especially the way they did, I think is going to mean leaps and bounds for this team, not only through the rest of this series against Milwaukee, which they still need to come out tomorrow and win the series tomorrow and let us think about a sweep on Sunday. Then you get LA. Then you get Arizona. Let's just say, with the Pirates now sitting 3.5 back of Milwaukee, let's just say they go 500 down this stretch of games of the All-Star break. And I'm going to add, and we're live right now, so I want to know everybody's thoughts on this. If the Pirates are 3 games under 500 and let's say less than 5 games out of the division going into All-Star week in Seattle, how do we feel? Like, genuinely, how do we feel if that is the spot where the Pittsburgh Pirates are by the time the All-Star break comes? Because let's also remind ourselves, folks, that the Pirates are on a 4-game winning streak and are likely to add one of Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens, or Wyatt Langford in the next week and a half. That is, yeah. And I don't blame listeners of my show. I don't blame Pirates fans for being all over the place emotionally with this team this year, because that's just what they've been. They have been an up and down team. That is just what they are, folks. They are an up and down young team. Tasha says, Piguero up, Tuke down, Castro down, Choi back, Reynolds back. Let's do this thing. We already got Colin Holderman back tonight. That was a big deal. The bullpen is getting healthy. You bring G-Man Choi back, that platoon at first base comes back immediately. Santana starts against righties, or Choi starts against righties, Santana starts against lefties, or whatever you want to do. Do I agree with sending Rodolfo Castro down? I don't really know. But there's just so many guys in the middle infield right now that it is really difficult to figure out. And I would not be shocked in the slightest come trade deadline time, which is about a month away from now, if the Pirates move a middle infielder. It wouldn't shock me. And it shouldn't shock any of you, because they just have a logjam there. And this doesn't even include when O'Neal Cruz comes back. Up and down, yes, but just added in big talent. They're not selling at the deadline, maybe buying, probably not major moves. I think they're definitely a buying and selling team, if that makes sense. So I think they are going to buy low on some guys that do have some team control, specifically in the pitching department, just because they are going to need innings down the stretch of the year. And then as far as selling, I mean, Rich Hill is a guy that I could see being moved, especially because I do think at some point Jared Jones, Quinn Priester, or one of these guys at the minor league level is going to be able to slide into the rotation. But I don't think it's going to be moves that are going to be astronomical. And I've said it on the show before that I think getting O'Neal Cruz back in August, whenever that may be, is almost a trade deadline move for this Pittsburgh Pirates team. And this game tonight is one that, yes, I do wish I was off of work for. I wish I could have watched in real time. But seeing Santana get a walk-off home run, seeing the dance that he did and everything, seeing this team finally feel like it has life again is what I think brings me the most happiness about this team. It makes me feel like this team is now finding its identity again. The offense is doing its part. The bullpen is doing its part. Starting pitching, obviously, is doing its part. Osvaldo Bido didn't have the greatest game tonight. Did it really matter? No. It would have been better if he would have had a good start. I think we can all agree on that. But the offense did something the offense has needed to do for quite some time. And that is back this offense up, or defense, or the pitching up. That's something we've been begging for weeks. Just imagine if, and it's something that somebody credited me saying, by the way, if they would have brought up Henry Davis before that stretch of 9 games against the NL Central, I could guarantee you he would have swung at least one of those 9 games. You win one of those 9 games, in hindsight, things look a lot different than they do right now for this Pittsburgh Pirates team. And then imagine if they would have won 2 or 3. Things get really crazy. Tasha says, I'd like to see them just do nothing at the deadline, maybe add a starting pitcher to fortify depth, but that's it. But they don't need to. Just call up Higuero, Endy, and Selby, and we can make a run. I like the sound of that. It's a lot easier said than done for what they have to do with the roster construction. And also by a run, Tasha, you didn't need to mention at the division title. That is the be-all, end-all for this Pirates team. They don't have a path to the wild card anymore. The Marlins are going to have one of those spots, and 2 of the NL East or NL West teams are probably going to have the other ones. That's what I would expect. Enjoyer says bullpen probably the easiest place to add. I would also agree as well. But I will also say, if we're talking about additions to the team, the bullpen is going to be kind of difficult. I mean, we just saw Aroldis Chapman fly off the board today to the Texas Rangers. Bullpen depth is very hard to find, especially right now with so many teams still in it. Also, let's just look at some stuff. We know a certain convention is going on in Pittsburgh because Andrew McCutchen went 3 for 5 tonight with 3 RBIs. Of course, Santana 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Nick Gonzalez continuing his kind of little hot streak as of late, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Marcano had a hit tonight. Ji-Hwan Bae had a pinch hit tonight. Sawinski was 2 for 3 with a walk. Lots of good stuff to like here. Osvaldo Bido, by the way, we are now up to 20 consecutive games where a starting pitcher has not given up more than 4 runs. I love that stat, and we need to keep it going. Osvaldo Bido, not the go-home start of the world here at all. 3 1/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, no Ks. But it continued a streak for this Pirates team. The last time a Pirates starting pitcher gave up 4 or more earned runs was Rowanzi's last start against the Oakland Athletics when he gave up 7 in the first inning. It's pretty good. And if they could keep that up, looks good for them. Ryan Baruchi came in the game tonight. Very well. Yuri De Los Santos made an appearance. He also did good. Angel Perdomo gave up 2 runs. Neither of them earned. Dauri Moreta, earned run. But shout out to Carmen freaking Majinski, who came in the game for the final 2 innings, did his thing. 2 innings, scoreless baseball, 2 strikeouts, closes it out. You got to love it, man. And as I said on Twitter too, this team is special. They have things going for them. They just need to get healthy. That is the biggest thing that this Pirates team can do right now is get healthy. Cannot stress it enough. Holderman just came back. Brian Reynolds is probably going to be back soon. G-Man Choi is right on the cusp of being back. O'Neal Cruz will be back in sometime in August. This division is winnable, folks. And you look at the rest of the weekend, I don't see any reason why the Pirates can't win this series. I really don't. The Brewers' offense played over its head tonight. It's not a good offense. It's just not. Don't let anybody fool you into thinking that this Brewers' offense is more than average at best. The Pirates' offense can easily do it. Now, tomorrow's game does get a little more tough. They do have Corbin Burnes tomorrow. And that's going to be a tough game. It will. Corbin Burnes is still Corbin Burnes. He's not having the greatest year, but he's still Corbin Burnes. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Do we think the Pirates win the series this weekend? Because I sure do. And I think it's needed. I think they have to. Truthfully, I think they truthfully have to win this series. Matt Nelson says, add to the bullpen and bring up Endy, then let it ride. I also agree. I do that. I think by whatever means necessary, they have to add at least one arm, be it rotation, be it bullpen, whatever. I think Endy will be up after the All-Star break. That's what I would expect. Wouldn't be surprised if it happened sooner, but with them also being on the West Coast, I do think it makes it a little more difficult. Tasha says, unfortunately, Corbin Burnes' daddy isn't playing in the game tomorrow. Yeah, well, another game we score 5+ and win. Thank you! Thank you! Somebody appreciates the fact that I bring that statistic up almost every episode on the show, that if the Pirates score 5 or more runs, they win the damn game. Thank you. Thank you. Honestly. Tasha's calling a sweep, folks. Mateo says, of course, as I mentioned, winning this series is a necessity, not a luxury. I agree 100%. Man, thank you. Enjoyer, I am very happy you're here right now because I've been bringing that stat up ever since I started this show. It's a stat that I love, and it's so simple. Obviously, easier said than done for them to score 5 or more runs, but when it happens, it happens. Heck, it was 4 runs there for a minute, Enjoyer. Not even 5. It was 4 where their record was positive. But also, any hot streak, as you guys see right here, there we go. Is this hot streak coming at the right time? And obviously the answer is yes, because a hot streak is something you want to happen no matter what. But doing it against a Padres team that, albeit is underperforming, they are still a very good team. Now you have a comeback victory against a NL Central rival that you have not beaten yet. So, Dennis also says Carlos Slamtana, he says Santana here, but I will call him Slamtana, is on fire right now. Yes, he is. But doing what the Pirates have done over the last 4 games, and they've now won 5 of their last 6, and with the starts they got in Miami, it should be more like 6 of their last 8 at minimum. You're getting hot at the right time. And that plays well into this division. Now, the Padres, who the Pirates just swept, they were just up on the Cincinnati Reds, which would have helped the Pirates in hindsight tonight. Spencer Steer hit his first walk-off home run. Yeah. and I'll put Tasha's thing up here. Why don't we contact San Diego and get Musgrove back? Why not? I'm just projecting right now. Let's bring the whole gang back together. Go talk to Philadelphia. Bring back Josh Harrison. Let's go get Joe Musgrove. You know, the Yankees. Let's go get Garrett Cole back. Let's bring the whole gang back. Jameson Taillon looks terrible with Chicago. Come back to Pittsburgh, buddy. You'll be fine. Enjoyer says Davis and Gonzalez lengthen the lineup and are making a difference. And Rodriguez, after the Futures game, will help too. Peguero maybe as well. I agree. I think that Endy for sure is a guy that's going to make an impact on this team at some point. Peguero, kind of, I don't know yet. You also said Starling Marte. I agree 100%. Cuts trades rumors start. The team starts to win. Coincidence? I think not, says Dennis Pavlik. Yeah. I mean, Monday was that day that national media was just crapping on the Pirates, saying, oh, McCutchen's going to – the Rangers are interested in Andrew McCutchen. He's going to want to get traded, blah, blah, blah. And Dylan Cruz doesn't want to sign and blah, blah, blah. Ever since, they're 4-0. I think he signed a 5-year, $70 million deal, theoretically not of the Pirates' price range. That's Musgrove. Yeah, but I don't think the Padres are going to give up just yet. Now, if it was like July 18th and the Padres are still in this point, then I would consider it. But I don't think it's something that they're going to think about just yet. But their GM is Bob Melvin is definitely on the hot seat. Because, I mean, look at the teams over like the last two series that the Pirates have won. The Mets and the Padres. Those two teams were supposed to be the juggernauts of the NL alongside LA and Atlanta. That was what, and Philadelphia. That was supposed to be the NL. You guys remember me talking before the year saying that I thought the NL was going to be the exact same playoff-wise as it was last year. Doesn't appear to be the case now. But it is late. I'll let you guys go ahead, and I'm going to open the forum a little bit to questions. So if you have questions or anything that you would like me to answer before I wrap this live show up, celebrating a Pirates 8-7 walk-off victory against the Milwaukee Brewers, please drop them in the comments. I will answer them as many as possible before I spontaneously combust. Probably would have to send San Diego Endy and any Musgrove deal, which would be kind of ironic. Yeah, be interesting. But yeah, if you guys have questions, concerns, opinions, anything, share them. I will answer them. That is what I'm here for. We are live on YouTube at Locked On Pirates. So again, thank you guys for tuning in as you always do. No matter when Ethan goes live or when Ethan has an episode, you guys are always here, and that's what I appreciate more than anything. Silas says, when should we expect to see some Quinn Priester action? After the All-Star break, definitely, but it does depend on if they trade Rich Hill or not. If they trade Rich Hill, which I would expect them to do, then I think Priester is the guy you call up to replace him in the rotation, where you then have a rotation of Keller, Priester, Beto, Oviedo, Ortiz. That would be what your rotation would be. So that's what I would expect if that's the track record the Pirates want to do. But if they keep Rich Hill, which I don't expect, then it gets a little difficult. Jared Jones is also a guy that I would watch out for. That's just where I think. So I wouldn't say any earlier than after the All-Star break. If the draft was tomorrow and you were appointed GM of the Pirates, Cruz or Skeens? Paul Skeens. He's a generational talent, great pitcher. The injury risk is there, but you're not going to find pitching like that on the free agent market, especially as the Pittsburgh Pirates at the price that you will get Paul Skeens. When ND comes up, which catcher gets DFA'd or released? Probably Jason DeLay. I know we want it to be Austin Hedges, but it's probably Jason DeLay just because Hedges has meant a lot to the maturation of this pitching staff this year with his pitch framing, how he calls games, etc. So I would assume by default it would be Jason DeLay. I would like to see it be both personally, but it won't be. But if I had to choose like between the two, it'll probably be DeLay. And that's where some of you guys agree. And yeah, as you said, they barely play Jason DeLay anyway. And Dennis brings up a good point as well. They have money invested in Austin Hedges, and that's probably what is keeping him here. But we did also just see Yoshi Tsutsugo last year stay on this team for quite a while until about June and then get DFA'd, and they just ate the money. I don't know, but hopefully everybody is also okay dealing with the Canadian smoke from the wildfires. I hope everybody's okay, but is it the key to their success? I don't know. Tasha says, schedule before the All-Star break is 2 more against the Brewers, 4 at Dodgers, 3 at D-backs. What does the Pirates' record in these 9 games have to be considered a success? 5-4? Because that's 9 games, correct? Yeah, 9 games. If they go 5-4, that's an astronomical win. Anything better than that is a cherry on top. 4-5, that I think that's even fine too, as long as one of those 4 wins is against the Brewers. When do you think Davis will catch in the big leagues this season, if ever? I don't know. I think that Derek Shelton's really enjoying him in right field, despite the defensive substitutions that we've seen. But I don't know if we see it this year, just because I still don't think he's ready to call a full major league game. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But I'm sure we'll see it at some point with him this year. And yeah, Tasha brings up apparently they were prepared to do it tonight. But yeah, I mean, we all saw Henry be a catcher at Louisville. We saw him be a catcher throughout the system and play outfield, and now he's just playing outfield. So, and Tasha also brings up before Santana's walk-off, if the game was tied, he was the only catcher left in the game. So yeah, they wouldn't have had a choice. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this live edition of Locked On Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates walk it off against the Milwaukee Brewers, winning 8-7 on Thursday night. Silas says percentage that Santana is a Pirate the day after the deadline, 45%. That's what I'll throw out there. Say it's close to 50-50, but I would still bet that they might deal him just to get something back. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in this late. You guys are awesome. The Pittsburgh Pirates walked it off tonight. They're going to try to win the series tomorrow and end yet another strong month with a series win. You guys are absolutely amazing. I could not have better podcast listeners, commenters, engagers. You guys are great. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a phenomenal weekend. I will see you on Monday. But most importantly, guys, I will see you on the flip side. Woo!